Scott Fitzgerald and Zelda Sayre's story begins like a glittering dream in the roaring 1920s when everything seemed golden and full of promise. They were young, beautiful, and talented, drawn to each other like fire to air. Scott was a struggling writer when he first met Zelda, the wild, captivating Southern belle who became his muse, his obsession, and his downfall. Their love was passionate, reckless, and consuming, filled with both brilliance and destruction. When Fitzgerald published This Side of Paradise, he became a literary star overnight. Suddenly, the poor soldier who once feared rejection was the voice of a generation. Zelda married him soon after, and the two became the embodiment of the jazz age, the glamorous couple everyone wanted to see. They danced, drank, and laughed their way through New York and Paris, surrounded by artists, musicians, and endless parties. To the world, they looked perfect, but inside, their love was slowly beginning to fracture. Fame brought pressure, and success brought competition. Zelda wanted her own identity and started painting, dancing, and writing. Scott, however, struggled to balance his ambition with his dependence on her. He began drinking heavily, and his jealousy deepened as Zelda's independence grew. Their relationship became a tug-of-war between love and control, passion and pain. The more they tried to hold on to each other, the more they slipped away. Scott poured their lives into his novels, especially The Great Gatsby, where the tragic beauty of lost dreams mirrored his own. The parties, the glitter, and the longing for something unattainable were not just fiction. They were echoes of his own heartache. Meanwhile, Zelda's mind began to unravel under the strain. Her struggles with mental illness grew worse, and she spent years in and out of hospitals, lost in the shadows of her own brilliance. Despite the chaos, they never stopped loving each other. Even when separated by oceans and illness, they wrote letters full of longing, pain, and deep affection. Scott tried to rebuild his career in Hollywood, writing screenplays that never satisfied him. He was haunted by the feeling that his best work was behind him and that fame had stolen the peace he once hoped to find. Zelda, too, fought to express herself through art and writing, trying to be seen as more than just his muse. Their final years were tragic. Scott died in 1940 at only 44 years old, alone and struggling with alcoholism, convinced that he had failed. Zelda died 8 years later in a fire at a hospital in North Carolina, unable to escape the ghosts of her past. But even in death, their love story lived on, a haunting reminder of how beauty and pain often coexist. Fitzgerald once wrote that there are no second acts in American lives, yet his and Zelda's story has become an eternal second act, retold, reimagined, and remembered across generations. They symbolize the dazzling highs and devastating lows of chasing dreams too big for reality to contain. Their love was not gentle or simple. It was fierce, creative, and destructive, the kind of love that burns too brightly to last. In the end, their story is not just about romance, but about the price of ambition and the fragility of genius. They were two souls who tried to live like legends, and discovered that legends are often lonely. Through his words and her spirit, they became immortal, bound forever by love, art, and tragedy. Their lives remind us that even the most beautiful dreams can crumble, but the memory of them can still shine with timeless light.